Okay, we're going to go in our hive here, our package beehive. This would be week 3 of the two full weeks. I guess the 3rd week these have been in. And what we're planning on doing is to probably replace the pollen patty, fill the syrup up. And we're going to look for brood. We're going to look for cat brood. We should see that today. We want to see how good the brood nest is going, how big it's getting. It's been cold, so it's really hard for the bees to expand their brood nest, and it's really causing a little bit of issue here. It's been uncommonly cold. So put on my PPE, smoker's going, and we'll see what this looks like. See how they did on the syrup. Well, they did empty the syrup pail out. But did they do anything? That is the question. Okay, they've eaten a lot of their pollen. I'm going to give them a fresh one. Don't want to leave just an old pollen patty on there. Just it'll get gross. It can get hard, and then they won't. Next thing you know, they won't be eating it. And all right, we'll start from this outside in. Okay, nothing's happening. Take out a couple frames so I got room to work. Pull these back. Okay, we're starting to work on this one a little bit. There again, it's all syrup happening. There's some, if you can see, the yellow pollen in there. Right there, so they are storing pollen there also. And whenever they draw a comb, they always start at the top and work their way down. That's just, so typically the top part of the hive of a frame is full of honey, then pollen will be the next one, and the brood tends to be in an eccentric circle. And we'll see if we can see an example of that in this colony. So they are packing away the pollen. That's all pretty much a lot of pollen on that side. And here, now you can see from last week, they have expanded their laying area here, and there's a lot of pollen in there, but also, I don't know how close this can focus, but there are some eggs in there also. So pollen and eggs, and some small larvae, small little grubs. The next one. Okay, here we have cat brood. This is cat brood here. Let me get the bees out of the way. There's the queen. She's right there. She's marked with the white dot on her. So she's doing her job. And we have seen this frame is full of eggs. There's eggs all the way down to the bottom now on this cell, where I'm just kind of keeping an eye on her. I don't want to accidentally squish her. And then I'm holding the frame over here in case she falls down. Now this whole frame here, it's got cat brood. There's honey in the upper corners, but then there's all kinds of eggs being laid in all the cells. And I know the condition of the queen. I will have to call her a good laying queen because she's hitting all of the cells. She's not missing any for the most part. That looks awesome. Now we're just got to be careful because we don't know where she's at, and we just don't want to put this frame back in and just squish her. There, she's at the very bottom. So I'm going to just put this back in. Nothing else to really do at the moment. She's making it happen. They are working on this one. I think I'm going to let it go for another week. Next week we'll probably be taking this frame here and turning it around so they can start expanding their brood nest. We can help a little bit with that, but we don't want to get greedy. It's going to be cold next week, so I really don't want to change anything. Everything is going good, so there's no point in disrupting, turning over the apple cart. Okay, so here I have a new pollen patty, and because a package bee colony, they can't forage enough for the colony probably until June can they do it. So just because we see flowers out, just because there's pollen coming in, doesn't mean we stop doing any of that. You need to keep pollen on these package bee colonies all the way until mid-June. You need to keep feeding them syrup until they've drawn out all the comb, or it's mid-June, whichever comes first, because by mid-June the nectar flow is going to start and we can be done feeding them because they won't take the feed anyways. So I would say you just keep going forward. I'm going to fill this feeder pail up real quick. Just got to use those bare fingers sometimes. So that in a week time, the bees drained out that feeder pail. Okay, I'll just refill it up. Hands are sticky. And then we're going to be, that was our weekly check, a little anticlimactic, but we've assured that the colony is getting a little, the numbers of bees is getting less, and it will get less and less every day until new bees start emerging. So we won't see more bees in the colony for another probably 2 weeks, and then from then it'll be a standard rise. But for right now, the hive won't get any bigger until then. So that was hive 1. We're going to go check the second hive now. Okay, I really like smoker pellets. They're just easy. If you're only running a couple hives, it's so easy to get smoke. They don't last very long, but I'm into easy. Rather than sit there and struggle trying to light my smoker, that's never fun. So those work well. The quick start pellets is what they're called. Okay, so this is our second one. Our second package bee colony. Now, if we look at this one, they have used up most of the pail of syrup. I see the pail is leaking a little bit. Might not be level, but I'll have to bring a level out here next time. It's not leaking bad because because there'd be a bigger pool there, so it may be leaking a little bit. Okay. Now we'll see how these are performing this week. Okay, we're going to replace the pollen patty. Doesn't look terrible, but we're going to give it a new one anyways, just to keep it fresh and attractive. That's what we like. We want it to be attractive. So, okay, we're going to start on our outside frames and work our way in. Okay, and here we have eggs. I see eggs, I see cap brood, I see big grubs. I don't know if that can see any of that. You can see the cap brood is yellow. As time goes on, that cap brood, the color of the wax will get darker and it'll turn into more of a tan color. And you can see this is capped. Now this is honey here. Now we're going to call that the syrup. They turned it into honey, so it's capped. And there is a difference between capped honey and capped brood. I'll get a better shot of some brood. And I will try to eyeball a queen. So I think if I was going to say, they're probably about the same. Here is a whole frame of cap brood. Now you can really see the example here. So here is this is honey, and it's capped. So the bees have capped that. Now this is brood, and that's all capped brood. So underneath there is a little grub, and they're turned into going through its metamorphosis from a larval stage to a winged insect. So that's a different in color. So in here I see larvae in all different stages. I'll see really tiny ones. I even see a few eggs in the very outer limits, and that just tells me that the queen is searching for cells, and she's trying to hit all the cells she can hit. And this frame here, she's got eggs all the way to the bottom. I can see all the cells all the way to the bottom along here have little white eggs in it. I can see them there. I still have not seen her. I'm not, like I say before, you don't gotta see her. We know she's been here because there's eggs. So that's really all you need to know. But in the interest of, if it wasn't making this video, I'd have closed this up a while ago. But now on this, here's another frame. This frame has a lot of pollen in it. You can see the orange pollen. It also has brood in it and honey again, same thing. And now this frame here, oh, there's the queen right there. Look at her mark is already worn off a lot. It's already worn off from being messed with. But here she's laying eggs here, and she's got there's eggs everywhere on this frame. So we know where she is. So I'm going to close this up, and I'm not going to do anything different today because, like I said, it's going to be cold next week. So we don't want to make any new challenges for them until we get a little warmer weather. So just push it all together, and when you're drawing foundation, you got to put all the frames tight together, or they make funky comb and it's bad. They screw it up. So if you can see, I have all of the frames tight. They're all touching each other. That's the proper bee space. If we take these and space them out like this, the bees they'd screw the comb up bad, and you end up losing all that comb because you got to scrape it off. So by putting it tight together, 95% of the time it'll be just right. Okay, so today I'm going to give them a new pollen patty. They're in the center of the core. That's where it is. Like I say, we don't want to put it over here or there. Here, it could be on this end too. It doesn't matter. But it should be right where the center of the core of bees is, and they got to be able to touch it. We just don't want to block the feeder pail hole. So let's see here. We have our feed. Top off our bucket, and we do look at the bucket to make sure that the holes aren't plugged up, because sometimes if a pail gets empty, they'll propylize those holes closed, and in this case I can see they're all open. They look great. And now we have a drowning bee, and the lifeguard to the rescue. Okay, we're going to fill up our feed. Now, if we wouldn't fill this up, a lot of it could leak out. So we want to fill it up near the top. And then it gets a vacuum, and it won't leak. And the bees can just draw it out as needed. Okay. Make sure the lid's tight, or a disaster happens, and that has happened to me before. Okay, so I'm pleased at the progress here. The bees are moving forward, a little better action there. Can't change the weather, so we got to grin and bear it on the weather. Nothing else we can do. So we'll come and check it again next week, and we should have emerging brood, so their population probably next week will maybe start to see a slight increase. But that's all there is for these 2 packages of bees, May 1st, 2021. Well, thanks for watching our series, and next week should probably see more comb being drawn out, some emerging brood possibly, and things will be really starting to be on the upswing. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.